Hail to thee, blithe spirit, bird thou never wert, that from heaven or near it pourest thy full heart in profuse stains of premeditated art. Higher still and higher, from the earth thou springest, like a cloud of fire, the blue deep thou wingest, and singest, still dost soar, and soaring ever singest. In the golden lightning of the sunken sun, over which clouds are brightening, thou dost float and run, like an unbodied joy whose race has just begun. The pale purple even melts around thy flight, like a star of heaven in the broad daylight. Thou art unseen, but yet I hear thy shrill delight. Keen as are the arrows of that silver sphere, whose intense lamp narrows in the white dawn clear, until we hardly see, we feel that it is there. All the earth and air, with thy voices loud, as when night is bare from one lonely cloud. The moon rains out her beams, and heaven is overflowed. What thou art, we know not. What is most like thee? From rainbow clouds there flow not drops so bright to see, as from thy presence showers a rain of melody. Like a poet hidden in the light of thought, singing hymns unbidden, till the world is wrought to sympathy with hopes and fears it heeded not. Like a high-born maiden in a palace tower, soothing her love-laden soul in secret hour, with music sweet as love, which overflows her bower, like a glowworm golden in a dell of dew, scattering unbeholden its aerial hue, among the flowers and grass which screen it from the view, like a rose embowered in its own green leaves, by the warm winds deflowered, till the scent it gives makes faint with too much sweet those heavy-winged thieves. Sound of vernal showers on the twinkling grass, rain-awakened flowers, all thou ever was, joyous and clear and fresh, thy music doth surpass. Teach us, sprite or bird, what sweet thoughts are thine, I have never heard. Praise of love or wine, that panted forth a flood of rapture so divine, chorus hymeneal or triumphal chaunt, matched with thine would be all but an empty vaunt, a thing wherein we feel there is something hidden want. What objects are the fountains of thy happy strain? What fields or waves or mountains? What shapes of sky or plain? What love of thine own kind? What ignorance of pain? With thy clear, keen joyance, languor cannot be, shadow of annoyance never came near thee. Thou lovest, but never knew love's satiety. Waking or asleep, thou of death must deem things more true and deep than we mortals dream. Or how could thy notes flow in such a crystal stream? We look before and after, and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Yet if we could scorn hate and pride and fear, if we were things born not to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever should come near. Better than all measures of delightful sound, better than all treasures that in books are found, thy skill to poet were, thou scorner of the ground. Teach me half the gladness that thy brain must know, such harmonious madness from my lips would flow. The world should listen then as I am listening now. Oh, God.
In the poem to a Skylark by Percy Shelley, he really goes in depth with the sky that he sees in the air, and he has a lot of emotion toward it. He compares it to all these different things he's seen, and he just really cares about the Skylark a lot for some reason. And some people might seem like it's just a normal bird, but he really cares about it. So, what do you think the central idea is about this poem?
Yeah,
I think the central idea is about how the Skylark is like an important part of his life, you know?
I think part of the central idea is about how, like, he, like, compared it to the princess, or the fair maiden or whatever, and then also to the guy and the Skylark. The Skylark and the princess, and they're compared because they're all isolated. And so I think that has something to do with it.
Yeah, and I think it shows the power of nature and how beautiful the bird is and how good it can sing.
I think it really shows just how like important this bird is to him. That like it just might seem like some bird to some people, but he really cared about it, and that it might just seem kind of weird to some people, but I guess it kind of shows just how much this single bird, the single event affected him, and how much he really like went really into depth over this.
He wrote a whole poem over the bird, which shows how like the bird can affect
So
a
I guess
person's life and their thinking.
And really like defined him and like who he is, like, and like his like thoughts about nature around him, and also like the significance of the bird also to him.
Yeah, and something that it talked about in the poem is that it opened his third eye, in a sense, and he started looking inward towards his own experiences rather than just what the bird looks and sounds and feels like.
He didn't look only at the bird; he looked at himself too, about like how does this bird affect me, not how this bird just sings.
True, and it says like even though he couldn't see him, like he still like heard him and knew he was there. So it's like your subconscious like being present.
The poem divides into 3 logical parts. The first logical part is about the bird that he hears but he cannot see. Although he cannot see the bird because it's too high in the sky, he feels its presence. The bird represents joy and desire and happiness because the bird is singing a beautiful song that he can hear. And the bird also brings joy to the whole world.
In the poem To a Skylark, there's 3 logical parts, and that's how the poem is divided. So the logical part that I found was most interesting and just like I'm going to be talking about was the middle section of the poem, where the speaker makes a series of comparisons to try to explain what the bird's song is like. So he pulls images from the world of men, the world of nature. He likes to compare them and like use men and nature together as one. And he compares the bird to a summer shower, a rose, a highborn maiden, a rainbow cloud, and even a glowworm. So he's like comparing to all these things. And all of these things basically all just resemble joy. And it captures that essence of like happiness, and so that's how the speaker feels when he hears the bird song, so he compares it all to that. So yeah, that was my logical part.
For the third and last logical part, the speaker asks the bird to share the secrets about the special joy that it contains. The joy found within this bird is unlike anything felt by human beings, who only know of pleasure through the comparison of tragedy and the pain that is an important part of human existence. Then, when told about Skylark's secret, the poet will be able to change many lives and improve humankind as a whole. Shelley also implies that this is the power of poetry when it is combined with the power of nature.
So in the poem To a Skylark by Percy Shelley, it has an overall general tone of happiness, and just mainly talks about this. It's just happy. It's just a general overall tone of happiness about the bird and how happy the bird is. But it does have some parts where it kind of changes and the tone shifts in some ways. So for about line 1 to 25, it's just generally happy. It's about the bird, the scenes, how happy it is. It compares it to all these nice things. And then line 25, it starts changing. It goes from sun to sunset to night, and it's just at nighttime from line 25 to about line 45. It just talks about the night, how it's night, how it's really calm and peaceful. And it's not sad. It's just kind of satisfying. Nighttime, calm, peaceful night. And then so it's just talk about that generally, and then it starts comparing it to compares all these different things. That part where it just compares it to all these different types of things: the morning dew, the maiden, the roses, and then just all these nice things and all these really beautiful things. It just goes on and on about comparing all these nice, beautiful things, and that's just like another happy part. And then on line 6 to line 70, it starts long. It just kind of goes on a little short part where it kind of longs for the bird and longs for the bird's happiness. And I call that tone change because it kind of changes from how happy it is to saying, I wish I could be that happy. And I consider that kind of a tone change because I just long for the birds singing and happiness. And then continues being happy for a while, comparing to all these different things, like the mountains, fountains, and all these different ideas. But then throughout line 86 to line 95, it kind of gets sad. I'll read it out right now. We look before and after and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Yet if we could scorn and hate and pride and fear, if we were things born not to shed a tear, I know not how thy joy we ever should come near. And it just kind of sad in general because he just kind of says like, oh, this bird's so happy, but no human will ever get to experience the bird's happiness because of our hate and pride and fear of being human beings, and how it's just in general sad that we don't get to experience that, and he wishes he could, but he knows that he never can. And then for the end of the poem, it just gets generally happy again, and talk about how the bird's happiness. And the last section is, teach me half the gladness that thy brain must know. Such harmless badness from my lips would flow. Revolt to listen then, as I'm listening now. So it's kind of saying that, which I'll get to know some of the happiness, because we are human, we do have happiness, but I'll never get to experience the full happiness the bird gets to have.